I am walking. Walking it is for me. Welcome in, welcome in. I am working on continuing my weight loss journey. And today I'm taking it easy. I'm doing my time on the treadmill today. I'm not gonna do the Stairmaster at this moment. I'll probably do it towards my night workout. I plan to do probably about 20 minutes on the Stairmaster. My doctor did advise that I should do less cardio. So we'll try to do that and do more strength training. So that's what I'm in the midst of working out. So I am consistent, being consistent. Consistency it is. Trying to keep up my momentum to work out today. And yeah, just keep going. No matter what comes in your way, just keep going, keep pushing. Since I'm looking at you guys on the screen, I can chat a little bit more. And I know I didn't chat yesterday much, but could definitely start to chat a little bit. So, but I hope everybody's prepared if you guys are getting any snow. Hello, hi Grant, hi Teddy, how are you? Good morning, good morning. Hope everybody's doing well. Yes, I am exercising again. So I didn't get to tell you guys what I was doing yesterday. So right now I'm doing 75 hard. So this is my day. I can't even think what day I'm on. So I'm doing two. What does 75 hard consist of? It consists of two workouts a day for 45 minutes. Hi Jareen, how are you? It consists of two workouts a day for 45 minutes. And you can split it. You can do like, your treadmill and strength training, whatever you choose. You can choose whatever you want, like, for your 45 minutes, but two separate times. And then it consists of drinking a gallon of water. But of course, we want to be mindful of speaking to your doctor if you have any medical issues. But drinking water, basically. It's supposed to be a gallon, but like, just also, there's people who can't have a gallon of water. So as a mother of someone with that situation, I can solely relate. And then you have to eat healthy. And then you're supposed to read. Now I started reading my book, right? You're supposed to read 10 pages. So I started reading the, the 48 Laws of Power. And then I started reading my other book because I had my book that I had in 2024 that I didn't finish. So I started reading that, but I didn't want to bring it on here. But I do finish, when I do get back to the 48 Laws of Power, I told myself last night I was going to come on here and read it. So that's what I basically have to do. I have to just come back on here and read it. But you have to read 10 pages of a book. And you're supposed to take progress photos as you go along every day. The photo part is the hardest part for me because I don't like taking pictures. So that's what I'm doing it. I'm doing that. And I'm doing it with a group of people that's on, we're actually on TikTok together. So, yeah. But anybody can do it. I think some people on here did 75 hard before, so you can, you can always do it, join in. And for everybody coming in, my name is Michelle. I'm currently on a weight loss journey. Starting weight was 274. Current weight is 182 as of my last weigh-in. Hello. So I got to I didn't put my subscriber thing on. I'm going to put that on. So it just helps me where I don't have to get like unnecessary comments or whatever. But yeah, so and then if those who would like to come in, you're welcome to subscribe, and then you can join the chat. I don't mind. I just monitoring it a little bit more. Yeah, so that's what I'm working on right now is doing this challenge, and definitely the Stairmaster is everything. I'm telling y'all, it is like a beast. It works you in like so many different areas. One of my main areas, of course, is my stomach that I've been really pushing towards, working on my core. So when I do my strength training and different things, those are my target areas, including my legs. So yeah, that's that. But besides that, Um, I have been also just reflecting on my content and my page and sitting silent with that for a little bit. Um, Thinking about some things that Jane said, commodity Jane. Um, and I'll say this, like, first time, like, there's a couple things that drew me to certain people for certain reasons. Um, and so, like, I also, like, appreciate, like, everyone's content, what they bring to the table. But I like people's individualities and uniqueness and understanding that, yes, we are on this journey together. We're all on this weight loss journey. Um, we could be in different stages, different phases, but we also have other qualities that we are more, that we can spread out and allow people to hear into those areas of our lives. And me trying to decide which areas of my life is something I want to open up more to. I know I talk about the financial aspect of things as well, um, and I talk about that sometimes, like here and there on my channel. Something I'm solely passionate about, been passionate about for many years. But I just decided that yes, I am going to be like focusing some of that, some of my content on that, and also, um, and again, when we think about finance, we think about those things. There's so many different components of finance, right? There's the budgeting aspect, there's the business, there's the small business, there's also the just understanding the basics of how to manage your money, right? And also there's the estate part, right? And there's different lines that's important that you should know, because sometimes we think that we're, you know, in a state, and I'll give you a briefing. I'm not going to get too in depth in it, but the only thing that was coming on my heart today was just being in a state where you look at things and it may appear to be okay, but there's always an extra lining, right? So that extra lining of protection of building your, and I believe Evelyn talked a little bit about it yesterday as well, and which was great information, and just your whole foundation and understanding where your business sits, as well as like you have you know, your life insurance for your family. That's a financial thing that you should definitely try to keep up with and understand that that's really important of financial aspects of life, right? Yes, while you're here, you want to manage your finances and things like that, but also if something happens, you want to make sure you have all your business line, your houses, your assets down to your bank accounts, you know, everything that you have in your name, your cars, your houses, you want those properly set up consistently. Like in your personal life, I think I will start exercising on live too. It kind of holds me accountable. Oh yeah, hi Cal. Oh hi Callie. See, I almost called you. I almost said the whole thing out all the time. Yeah, I like when you walk her dream. I think it's pretty cool because I love Texas. Like just the scenery of Texas. I love Texas. I like I said, I lived there only for a year, but the year I was there, I had my daughter, and it was like a whole different atmosphere for me. I don't know, maybe because I'm from up north, and it's like all we see is trees and stuff. But when you're out there, you see like more like the landscape. I'm not gonna go down there, but that's how I feel about Texas. Texas definitely has a yes. So okay, so there is a this year there's a GLP-1 meetup that's gonna be in Texas in October of 2026. So I also have family down there too. So um, I can also go down there and visit my family too if I want. Have some friends and family that way. So I'm in Massachusetts, so I'm close to you. I think you say you're in New York, so I'm in Mass, getting ready for this snow. Yeah. Oh, you're in DFW. I used to live in Irving. I used to live was it 495? 495, like where Walmart. It's like a whole bunch of different things. I was right across the street. Yeah. It was what area was that? Valley Ranch, I think. Valley Ranch area. Because my son went to school in Capel. Capel. That was like up the street a little bit. But yeah, so but I love Texas anyway. Everything but that highway, that's too fast. And the way you guys just zoom onto the highway. Up here we merge. You guys just go straight. But yeah, so yeah, but anyways, about foundation, about your finances, it's important that you understand, like, um, when you have your estate, right? Some people think like estate planning, when you have your estate, it could be like, has to be difficult. It's actually not difficult. Um, it's actually very easy for you to do, and you're just getting it done. And like, if one thing I said if I can do to this year is tell people that if have family meetings and set these things up. You can set these things up, and it means so much because you're creating like that generational wealth, right, within your family line. So that's another aspect that I really want to tie into and create content around, just so people understand what the steps are that they can take and how to do it, right? Because some people don't know how. So, um, again, coming from a perspective of, um, I'm not an attorney or anything like that, but telling you to contact who you need to contact, where you can go to get this information, and then setting those proper things up, as well as a trust, right? I'm a listen. I'm a person that I shoot for trust, and I always tell people get a trust. Um, any client that I have, I tell them all the time you should have a trust. So you know, everything should be in your trust, right? Because you have your children, right? Or you have your family, or you have yourself, or you have your husband, or you just have your dog, whatever. You know, you could assign your trust to anybody. You have trustees or whatever. It's it's not as difficult as we may think about it. And then within there, you can also put all your assets in there. And then, if you just start off with the basics, I always say basics are having beneficiaries. Some people don't know that you can have a beneficiary on your bank account. They don't have nobody on their bank account. I wonder if do you guys have, the people that are in the chat, do you guys, or if you watching the replay, do you guys have beneficiaries on all your bank accounts, including your, like, even when you get your car or you get your house? I had to tell one of my family members this. When they first got their house, they set up a life insurance policy. So if anything happens to them, whoever their beneficiary is that they set up with their life insurance. So what happens is it depreciates. Like, think about, you hear the word depreciation, but what it does is, as your house goes down in value, your life insurance increases, because what it does is, if something happens to you, it pays off the rest of the house, and it just goes to that person, where that debt is no longer there. But some people buy their houses and they don't even have they don't even have that life insurance underneath their house at all. So when I advise people to, and again, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm just giving them like my own personal intake as someone that helps people with their financial outlook, right? Is basically looking at all your things that you have and what do you have set up. Even when you have your car, I don't know if you buy your car straight out or not, but um, if you have a car loan, you can also do that as well. You can just make sure that when you get your car, there's a box that you check on the loan that basically allows you to say that, yes, I I want to set up this person as my beneficiary. So if something happens to you, your car goes directly to that person. There's no other paperwork. You just call them, and the car goes to that person because they set you up as the person that will receive that asset. And these are small things that you can do at the time of signing. Minimum cost. The cost of it is dollars on cents compared to, you know, something happens and now you got to worry about paying off that debt, you know? So these are the things that is important that we understand, that we hone in, and we take it every single day and we look at it and say, hey, what can I do today to change my tomorrow? You know, those are the questions that I've been asking myself when I'm thinking about finances for myself. What can I do today to change my tomorrow? How would it affect those around me? How easy it is to get $1 million policy. Easy. But how it's easy for you to put it inside of your trust. Now your trust is worth $1 million. You wonder how people are moving assets and moving things from one place to another? Listen, we perish because of lack of knowledge and understanding. We don't perish because of anything else. As soon as you know to allow money to work for you, then you're doing way better than what you ever thought you can be. Allow your money, allow your assets, a lot of different things that you have today to work for you. It's better. So that's what I want to kind of push forth in my content, bring more people, into that and see who and what. Like, listen, knowledge is knowledge is free if you want to give it away, right? Some people make you pay for knowledge. I feel like, I tutored, I help businesses around me grow. I have done that. I don't listen, I don't sit here and try. I didn't even charge for stuff. Charge it like for those types of services. I just want people to understand what they can do to better themselves. The hardest thing is for somebody to do is to listen, follow instructions, and to get it done. They can't, the most people can't do that. I've worked with so many business people, a lot of business people. And when I sit with them, even personal, I tell them, hey, this is where you need to start. All right, I'm gonna give you, how much time do you need? They tell me the time. So when if they tell me a week, I say, okay, I'm gonna give you 2. Give them the time to work on it, to get it done, to execute. Because if you're not able to execute, then it's never gonna get done. You have to be the person. I can lead you to the water, but I can't make you drink. All right? So that's something that, you can take that in all aspects of life. You don't have to take that in your monies. You can take that anywhere. You can take that in your weight loss journey. You can take that anywhere. But it's up to you to make the change. So when I say, oh, Michelle's mirror, I'm reflecting off of myself. I was given that message years ago. Why? Because I'm reflecting off of me. I don't compare myself to nobody. I never compare myself to nobody. I was a CFO, not to be boastful, but to be thankful. I was a CFO at 30 years old. With all the things, having my son in college, having my son with a medical illness in college, graduating on time, had my son January 1st, went back to school January 16th. That's execution. I worked 3 jobs while I was pregnant, and I was going to school. That's execution. That's determination. No one's gonna take that from me. And understanding my battles is my blessings. So every time a battle hits you, you gotta keep going. You gotta keep going. Like we read in the book. What do we need? We need our enemies. We need them. We need them. We need those things to come against us to make us fight even harder, to go to bat. When I'm reading that book and I'm dyslexic and when my uncle, he would tell you, like, he's sitting there to help me trying to read. Like, I didn't let that stop me from being where I am in my career. Yeah. You're almost done reading it? Yeah, I just started on this page right now. It's good. And it's like all of these things is, my son got me reading that, Callie. My son asked me to read it last year, and I didn't never get around to it, so I got to finish it. But yeah, you got to just go. You got to go, like, no matter what it is. Because it's definitely not, I'm going to tell you right now that it's not easy. Anything easy in life, that means you're not being challenged enough. I could have did the 75 soft, but in order for me to challenge myself, I did the 75 hard. What's the difference? Only one workout. But I need that. And I told myself if I can get to, I think the end of my first one is like in March or something, or the beginning of April. And I said, if I can get to that, I think it's like April 4th. I said, if I can get to that date, then the next one is, maybe I could do it twice. Maybe I could get to June 18th. I already calculated it out, got it written out, I already got my plan. Because that's what we have to do. We have to make a plan and make it simple for us and execute it. It starts like, if you have bank accounts, call your bank institution today. If you got 10 minutes, call them and say, hey, do I got beneficiaries on my bank account? All right. I want to add my son. I want to add my wife. I want to add whatever. So if something, they can't do nothing with your account today, but if something happens, they got access to it. You ain't got to worry about that. They don't got to go through the court. Why should they have to pay the courts for something your parents or your sibling or your husband or worked hard for? It just makes no sense. I remember what was her name? She was a judge. She used to call it like the dummy tax. The things that we pay for in life for no reason. Why are we paying for this? Why are we doing that? I don't know. But we do it because we perish because of lack of knowledge. It's not a bad thing, right? It's just we have to really educate ourselves on these things. And that's why I said that's where I'm going to sit at. I'm going to sit in my weight loss. Thank you, Hardrine. Yes. We have to sit in our weight loss. I know that there's different trusts. There's irrevocable, vocable. Make sure you look up that if you're going to look at trust. So I don't have content out there yet, but look it up. Different types of trust, so you know which one you're gonna try to get yourself into. So yeah, like a lot of this stuff I learned in school, law 72, understanding how to invest your money in the right spots to get the amount of return you want to get. All of that's important. And so it comes to me naturally. So that's something too. Like I want to do something that comes to me naturally. This weight loss thing, I'm not gonna say it came to me naturally. I felt like I was on hold for a second because I felt like I couldn't move because my health was like in despair. But you know, I pushed through. Thank God for this medication that definitely gave me that extra boost of clearing up those things internally that was going on with my body that allowed me to push and continue to go forth, you know, to the next level. So that's what we have to do. We have to just keep going no matter what. No matter what it takes, just keep going. And so that's something that, you know, I think Dee Dee has on her thing, she talks about stocks. And that's important too, because understanding how to invest your money into stocks, there's different type of stocks. You know, I can tell you for myself, not to put my business out there, but it was a small stock that I just did. It was a VTX. It's a GLP-1. Okay, awesome. So there's VTX. That's a new GLP-1, and that actually I put it in option. Right, so I got stocks. I got stocks in it too, but I purchased the option back in, I don't know, it was a minute ago. But anyways, I got in at like $8 and just pushed all the way through. And then you get to cash out. You can cash out any day you want to cash out. But options work on a faster pace. You can do short term, long term. You can do whatever you want. If you're going to just hold a stock and just buy like that, when you buy an option, you buy 100 shares of something. So if it costs $1, you're paying $100. If it costs $8, you pay $800 for that stock. You're paying for 100 stocks when you buy an option. But when you just get a regular stock, if it's $20, you're paying $20. That's the kind of the difference between the two. A little bit. Just there's more differences, but just a snippet of how to look at it. And so looking at that and looking at smaller companies, not larger companies, but smaller companies, it kind of gives you an idea of when to jump in, when to jump out. Then some people do day trading. Now, day trading is fun. Now, day trading, I'm gonna tell you guys, it's an impulse thing. But one thing I learned in college with my professor, he taught me how to do the day trading, and I didn't know he was teaching me. Right? He never taught to the book. He was my advisor, and he was my advisor and my teacher for finance. So because I liked him so much and I understood it, I took too many finance classes. I was supposed to be an accounting major. I took too many finance classes, so I had to end up majoring in finance and minoring in accounting, and then I got my master's in accounting and taxation because I took too many classes with him. I was too indulged, and that's when we didn't have internet. I'm not gonna say there was no internet, but we was more so paying attention to like the charts that was in the newspaper, like following the stock market off of the newspaper, and then like analyzing it to say what was gonna happen in the stock market, just understanding like where businesses, their numbers, or any news reports about them. And that's what he basically gave us tests on. But I say that to say, now when I look at those charts with my son, because he's all into, you know, stocks. If you watch the video on my channel, he kind of like threw it out there a little bit. Not too much, just like, oh yeah, if you want to learn about stocks or whatever. He teaches people that in that sector, right? I told him that's not my sector. But yeah, that right there, that day trading is like, you be on here 3 minutes to make $4,500 if you want. That's day trading. You gotta have the time, the energy, the dedication. So when you hear people with those big numbers, they understand the charts. They understand how they move at a short period of time, and they know they're in the right spot. So they know when to get in, when to get out. Because, as fast as it can go up, it can go down. So we want to just like make sure, hi Jen, how are you? You want to make sure you're being consistent in anything that you do. So I say that to make sure that we understand if you're going to be consistent in, looking at your estates and looking at your accounts, look at that. You're going to be consistent in growing your business, focus on that. You're going to be consistent in this aspect. That's how I look at my life. I don't try to combine it because to me there's different, they play a different part in different seasons. I really like to look at my estate stuff only like twice a year. I usually look at it in January and I look at it again in June. And let me tell you this, I have removed people off of my, and this is no disrespect to nobody, but I have removed people off my life insurance policy. If I feel some type of way and I know who I got on there, listen, I have other people besides just my children on there, but like, if I feel some type of way, I just take the person off. That's it. I just change it on my phone and keep it moving. Because I have the right to do that. But what I don't change is like how certain things are written for like my trust and things like that. It gets funny to me. I'm always laughing because when I tell my kids this, they be like, "Ma, you're too much." But yeah, and we have these open discussions. So some people don't talk about it, but I have open discussions about it because I think it's important. Another thing I think is very important is that, sitting down with your family at least once a month and having a talk about, hello, Trisha, how are you? Having a talk about, how things are going and having a full-blown conversation about everything, about what's going on. If there's just little things you don't know, like me and my dad and my son and my daughter, even though she didn't understand because she was younger, but we used to sit down and have conversations at least once a month, and about important things like what I'm discussing today. And I learned a lot. I learned a lot from my dad. I learned a lot from my grandfather just by doing that. I learned a lot of information that, that I honed in with me today. And so I tell you guys, just keep on, like, no matter what it is, just open these conversations up with your families, and your children. And, they're going to shed information onto you too. Because you don't know what they might have been learning in school or somebody could have put that information by them. When I went, if you go look a video on my channel, I taught some young girls in a youth group finance. And that group is still going on today. And again, Hardrine, thank you for donating to one of the young girls. And I would say this, that these young girls, they're so appreciative. And their parents, when I got to meet them, they're very appreciative of like the information they know. Like me telling them to, go talk to their parents so they can get on their parents' credit cards at 14. Most credit card companies, you can sign them up as an authorized signer. As long as, make sure your parents' credit cards are, in good standings, of course. But you could get on there you could build your children's credit score up. That's what you want to do before they get a certain age. Because some people think, oh, credit cards are bad, credit cards are bad. No, credit cards are not bad. You gotta have them work for you and not against you. Use the rewards. When you're looking, like, for example, I'll give you one that's a good credit card. Discover. Discover has a good credit card, especially for people who are in college, just starting off. Why? Because they give you dollar for dollar for the first year. So basically, if you spend $1,000 in that first year and you paid your bill, at the end of your year, they're going to give you $1,000. And there's not a lot of credit cards out there like that. The ones that I would say is not as good sometimes are store ones, like a Walmart credit card. It doesn't have that much diversity with it. You want diversification when you look at certain things, especially credit. because you want to get the benefits. You want to maximize your benefits so you can purchase things, right, outside of your regular life. So if you know you get a rewards for, like I just said, that $1,000, now you can go spend that on whatever. Put it down on a down payment for a car if you want to. You know, allow, not telling you to go buy cars and stuff, but use it for your own advantage. You know, flip your money. You know, figure it out. But don't allow yourself to be buried into debt because of, oh, Navy Federal, they have a good one too. My son has a Navy Federal. I actually don't have that. I actually have not looked into them, but I'll look into them. I think I've heard about them before too. But yeah, so you look into it and help your children build them up because they need you. I'm telling you. Because most of the time, you know, this is a day and age where our children are looking at their phones. If your son has it. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I wasn't even thinking about that. I'll definitely talk to him about it. Yeah, I think it's funny because I think he told me about it like maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. I just never. Sometimes when I be telling him, I'm like, how do you say? When my money's already set going a certain way, then he's like, Mom, but this is good because it has this, it has that, and I'm like, but he uses it. Oh, okay. Oh, they look. Oh, that's good to know. Oh, I gotta look into them. Yeah. So see, information right there in the chat. Navy Federal has, I think she has a good credit card. So that's a. If you guys are watching the replay, that's something you can look into too. Navy Federal. Hardrine is sharing with us, saying that they give large limits. So look at the credit cards, look at what they offer, and you know, if you qualify or if someone can let you into getting a card with them, look into that. You know, and all of this stuff can essentially help you with your. I know a lot of people right now have to buy their GLP-1s medications, right? Or whatever other medications you have, or maybe you have expenses at home that have increased. You have groceries you need to buy because sometimes we eat healthier, sometimes our expenses increase a little bit. Or anything else, whatever you decide to use it for. This is the time to think about ways to get your financial, I always say, I like to call it just like you're more so like a game plan, because it's like it's like a game plan. It's not just, it doesn't just happen overnight. It takes time. And when I help people with their budgets, I give you I have a whole thing that I send you. I have a whole packet. Send you a message with all the things you need to do, and I'll patiently wait. Some people get back to me, some people don't. Because you know what? It's just like any other plan. It's just like your workout plan. It doesn't mean you just eat right and then the weight just falls off. You gotta be doing a multitude of everything for things to happen. And that's what I have for your budget. It doesn't just take one thing. It doesn't just take for, oh, let me manage my expenses for you have a good budget. It's more than just your expenses. It doesn't just say, okay, you know what? Let me find a way to pay off my debt. Let me find a way to do this. Let me find it's your income that you're bringing in, and it's your expenses. It's both. And then it's also the next step. Once they do that part, then I show them the stuff I was just talking to you guys about how to structure your money and have it working for you now moving forward. Because once you have that discipline, and I have helped people get out of a lot of different financial situations because of it. And I just, they feel like they owe me something. It's like, you don't owe me anything. I'm just thankful that you're in a better spot than you were yesterday. And I think that's what matters the most, is us having a sincere heart and willing and wanting to be there for other people in all different ways. And that's how I feel like when I see some people in the community, I see those type of traits that, people are willing to give their knowledge, that they have their expertise that they have in certain areas, for other people to grow, whether it's your content, whether it's understanding, you know, how to, like her doing how to make music, how to, do garden, how to do cooking, all of these different aspects. Yo, it's a craft. And everybody has different crafts, and I think that we have to see more of that and keep allowing people to bring it forward and continue to move to a better direction. So I'm almost at 40 minutes of walking, and I'm gonna strength train for a little bit, and I do have an appointment this morning, so have to get to that. Thank you for joining this morning. Have to get to that appointment, but I am so thankful for each and every one of you for coming on, and I'm expected that I'm gonna continue to try to make content that you guys like, and get you guys to come back and continue to view my channel. So that's my goal. If you have any questions for me, you can always send me an email. I'm always willing to answer any questions, or help in any type of way. I always say, there's no wrong question at all. Like, you can ask anything you want. Like, I like to, if I don't know, I'm glad to tell you I don't know, because I'd rather get you to the right source of somebody that can help you. But if I can, I would gladly tell you I can. But yeah, so I'm gonna wind down and get off and do a nice stretch, and I won't be lifting until later on tonight. So you guys, I hope you guys have a blessed Friday. And you guys, if I don't see you guys before Monday, listen, if you guys are having a snowstorm in your area, just try to get some shopping in today if you can. What's the most important? But I always say I grew up in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 foot of snow. So you guys just treat this like we were younger. If you're an 80s or 90s baby, and you got this. Just as long as you got something to eat for those 2 days, you're good. So just keep going. All right. Peace, love, and happiness. Thank you.